My name's Amber and I'm fucking stupid. My lighting's gonna be kind of weird today because I have it at like an angle. Maybe I can fix it a little bit. Ooh, that's bright. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Amber, just in case you didn't know, and thank you for joining me today. So yes, today's video is going to be another mashup of mini story times like last week, but this week the topic is going to be my car, or cars, and me. I didn't post yesterday, and me and cars kind of has something to do with it. So I'm going to start out easy and talk about before I got my license. And just in case it's like different anywhere else, I'm going to go ahead and explain it. In Georgia, before you get your driver's license, a year and a day before, you get your driver's permit, which is like a learner's permit, which is where you can drive if there's someone over 21 with a license in the car with you. And then a year and a day after you get your learner's permit with 30 hours of driver's ed, you can get your driver's license. So I had my learner's permit at the time, and me and my mom were leaving an air show that was in my town. I hadn't driven in traffic before, like ever. I was pulling off the road the airport was on, which, you know, airports where they have air shows. I was like waiting for a big space to go, but there was like 3,500 people on the same road as me, so there wasn't going to be a large space for me to go. And my mom was just like telling me to go, like go, 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 go. So I went too early. I didn't get hit, thankfully, but I just started like weaving in and out of the lanes. Probably 30 seconds goes by of me doing this, and I see cop lights. So yeah, I was pulled over at 15 years old. He was like, I pulled you over because I thought you were drunk driving, but you look a little young to be drinking. And I was like, no sir, I'm 15. I've had my permit for like 6 months, and I've never driven in traffic. And he looked at my mom and he was like, is this like your idea of practice? And it's one of the busiest weekends of the year. And she was like, and he was like, good choice. He was just like, well, I'm not going to give you a ticket because you don't know how to drive. And he was like, just get home safe. And I was like, thanks. He got in his cop car, he pulled away, and then I had to like kind of deal with going back into the traffic. And we go up, I turned left on an intersection, and I was in, there's like 2 lanes, and one of them is like a merge lane, and I didn't know it was a merge lane, and I almost ran into like a ditch, and the cop drove past us again. Next story happened like a week or 2 after I got my license, and it's not me driving stupidly or anything, but it was my car being an asshole, basically. So I'm in dual enrollment classes, which is where you can take college classes while you're in high school, you know. And I was leaving college, and I was about to run home before I had to go to my band practice, and then my car just like broke. Like I turned on my car at the college and it said engine failure, and I didn't really know what that meant, so I was like, it's probably fine. I pulled out of the college parking lot, and right before I pulled out, the car kind of went like, ba-dunk. Great sound effect. Yep, I pulled out and it went like, ba-dunk. And I was like, that's not normal. I kept driving, and then my car wouldn't like accelerate, like it wouldn't gas. And I couldn't go over like 50 miles an hour, and like probably 15 seconds into me not being able to gas it, my car started like shaking very violently. And it was lunchtime in like one of the busiest areas of my town, so I was kind of panicking. And I called my mom, and I literally was like crying because I didn't know what was happening to my car, and everyone around me was going like 45 miles an hour, and I was going 15. I was like, I don't know what to do. So yeah, and then the dealership was like literally like on the side of the road from me, so I just kind of pulled in there. It's like, hey, my car's broken. They're like, oh, good job. And then my mom got me. So my car does that a lot. It's been in the shop like 6 times. I've been driving for 6 months. Next story isn't really about me driving, but it's me being stupid in my car, so I think it kind of fits. I was supposed to stay at my friend's house, and it was probably like 11:15, 11:30, but I was going to get my friends and take them to McDonald's so they could get food and then take them back. And I didn't know which house was theirs, and so I was just kind of sitting outside. I was like at the end of his road, like by the stop sign, just waiting. And I was there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then this really bright light flashes like in the back window of my car. I didn't know what the fuck it was. Like, I just looked at it for a minute. I was like, and I just kind of sunk down in my seat. I was like, maybe they can think it's like a parked car. Maybe I'll be okay. A guy walks up to my window and he just starts like shining a flashlight in. And I was like, fuck. I rolled down the window and I was like, hi officer, how are you doing tonight? Like, how are you? And he was like, do you realize what time it is? And I was like, yeah. And he was just like, what are you doing? And this is kind of where like the acting talent thing comes into play. And I just looked at him and I was like, I've had a really long night and I'm here to like be cheered up by my friends. And he was like, how's your night so long? And I went on to this story about a boyfriend that doesn't exist and how me and him had been fighting all night. And I was upset and my friends said they would come cheer me up. And I was supposed to say I have friends, but her and her boyfriend just broke up. And yada yada yada. And I went on this long like 5-minute tangent. And after probably like 5 minutes of me just talking out of my ass, he went up. He was like, which house is theirs? And I was like, it's one of these. They didn't tell me exactly which one. They just told me which neighborhood and which way to turn and where to stop. And he was like, And I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you guys going anywhere? Like, this is like a sneak out pickup. And I was like, no, we're just gonna sit in his driveway. I might go in. If anything, we'll go to McDonald's. Not a lie, ho. And he was just like, just get home safe. Don't do it again. Your curfew's in 45 minutes, just a warning, like, bye. And he's left, and I was like... Next is my second to last story of me being stupid in a car, and it just slipped my mind. So, this one happened like a week ago, and I went to pull out of my driveway with some of my friends, and I just kind of like reverse normally, turn, went to go put my car in drive, and then my car made the sound again, and I was like, great, I've experienced this before. And so I just like went to go change gears and pull back in my driveway, and my car didn't move. I pushed the pedal all the way down and nothing happened. It didn't move. And I was like, shit. I could move the gear shift while having my foot on the brake, and that's not normal. So I turned my car off and I went inside. I was like, Mom, my car just broke in the middle of the cul-de-sac, like, help. And she was like, have you tried turning it on? Like, have you tried like turning it back on? Like turning it off, turning it back on? I was like, is my car a fucking phone? So we went outside. I turned my car back on after turning it off, and it was fine. Moral of the story, my car is a phone. So, next one happened Saturday, which is why I didn't post on Sunday, because I was supposed to record with some friends Saturday, and then this happened. I had some friends over, and they were helping my mom set up for the Super Bowl party. By the way, frick the Patriots, like, so I was supposed to record with some friends Saturday, like afternoon, edit Saturday night, and then post it Sunday, which is yesterday. And we were helping my mom set up for the Super Bowl party, and my mom's like, hey Amber, can you take some of this stuff to Goodwill in the back of the car so I can use the car? And I was like, okay. So I had to drive my mom's car alone for the first time. All that day, all of that entire day, for some reason, like, the topic of wrecks kept on coming up, and I was like, I've never been in a wreck, and, like, as I was getting into my car, like, into my mom's car, I was, like, looking at my friend, I was like, if I wreck this car, my mom's gonna kill me, and he was like, have fun with that, and then I left. I went, I dropped all this stuff off at Goodwill, and I was coming on a road. I always take this road to go home, like, every single day, and I never had a problem with it. And this fucking day, for some reason, decided to fuck me in the ass. I'm okay. I was pulling off to turn left, and I swear I looked both ways twice, and I didn't see anyone. Like, I don't remember. You see I'm still, like, panicked about it. Like, and I pulled out, and I just saw a car in my head hit the window, and then I don't really remember anything And I just kind of pulled off into like this little lot that was next to where we collided, and I got out of the car, looked at like the front of the car, and I was like, I'll put a picture here. Yep. It was my first car accident I've ever been in, like completely, like driving, riding, anything. I'd never been in a car accident. And as it, like the day where I had like 3 conversations talking about I never had a car accident, I had a fucking car accident. That's the biggest like LOL you thought I've ever gotten from God. Like that was. So I called my mom and I was like hysterically crying. I was like, Mom, I got into an accident. She asked me where I was. I told her where I was, and she was there in like 2 minutes. And I was really just like hiding by my car because I didn't want to have to talk to the cops because I was in such like a panicked mode. Because like I knew if I talked to them, I'd just be like, they'd be like, calm down. I just like kind of stood by my car, like by my mom's car. I really need to point out it was my fucking mother's car. I was just standing by it and I was like, and they like kept on pointing at me and I was like, my mom got there and all my friends had piled in the truck. I was literally just like, I walked up to my mom and just started like bawling again. Like I was so scared. I didn't know what to do and I was like, I really didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Panicked Amber screeching. And she was like, it's okay, you're okay, like you're fine, everyone's okay. And there was this lady like in the other car and she was like being over dramatic basically, and she left in an ambulance and I was just like sitting on the side of the road just like hugging my knees and crying, and I was probably there for an hour, like just sitting on the side of the road just crying my eyes out, or if it wasn't an hour it felt like 3. Like it was horrible. Like one of the cops walked up to me because it was just me and my mom standing there, and my mom just kept being like, it's okay, like accidents happen, you're okay. Even the other people were like, you're fine, like accidents happen, everyone's alive, that's all that matters. And I was like, ah! And one of the cops walked up, they're like, is this your first car accident? I was like, how'd you know? And she was just like, it's fine, like it happens, everyone has to go through their first car accident, it's a completely normal thing. And I was just like crying, and this random just like cop just hugged me for like a minute straight. I was just like crying into this random cop's shoulder. And I kept on like asking them like, is that other lady okay? Like why'd she have to be taken away? Like is she okay? Is she okay? And they're like, honey, she was sitting up and talking to us. She's fine. It was probably like an hour after the wreck happened and I was just like holding my head and my mom was like, did you hit your head? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, hard? And I was like, it hurts. And I started to like feel nauseous and like my hands started to go numb. Yeah, it was weird. And so my mom was panicking kind of, and she was like, why didn't you tell us while like the paramedics were here? And I was like, I don't know, I didn't think it mattered. Like, I'm sorry. So yeah, I went home with all my friends and we were there for like 30 minutes. And then me and my mom watched a movie. We ended up at the hospital for about 3 hours for my head, just for them to be like, she should be okay. We don't really want to over-radiate her since she's 16. And I was like, thanks. Like, I'm probably have the flu now because I was saying with all these fucking flu people, all these flu patients, I probably have the flu. Bitch. That was a rough day. I don't have anything else to talk about. So I guess that's it for today's video. I'm dressed like Kanye. Tom Brady finally lost the Super Bowl. I got into my first car accident. It's been an eventful ass week, boys and girls. I need to stop cursing so much in my videos because it's not good, you know? So yes, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe down below because it would really help me amount to something. That's it. Bye! I know I'm all over the road. I can't help but go. Little bit of left, little bit of right. My tongue is like... Just move the gear shift while having your foot on, like, your foot.